Raza's taxi was old, its seats torn, the engine a bit weary, but it was his livelihood. Every day, he drove through the bustling streets of the city, picking up passengers who would only see him as another poor man just doing his job. Raza's life was far from easy. His clothes were simple, his apartment small, and his income barely enough to support his aging mother. Yet, despite all his hardships, Raza had one thing that made him stand out: his kindness. Raza's philosophy was simple. Kindness costs nothing, he would say to his passengers, always with a warm smile. And this belief had led him to do small acts of kindness, whether it was helping someone with heavy luggage, giving a seat to an elderly passenger, or offering a ride to a person caught in the rain without charging them. One evening, after a long, tiring day of picking up drunks and business people in a rush, Raza drove through the city's empty streets. The rain had begun to fall heavily, and the lights of the city seemed to blur through his windshield. A street corner, he noticed a man standing alone, drenched in the rain, holding a briefcase. Raza slowed down and opened his window. "Need a ride?" Raza asked, his voice gentle. The man looked up, startled, and nodded gratefully. "Yes, please. I'll pay whatever it costs." Raza smiled and nodded, motioning for him to hop in. The man climbed into the back seat, still shivering from the cold. "Where to?" Raza asked, as the engine started to hum again. "Just take me anywhere," the man replied, his voice full of frustration and exhaustion. "I just need to get away." Raza, sensing something was off, kept his eyes on the road. "Is everything all right, sir?" The man sighed deeply, his eyes clouded with worry. "I'm just so tired of everything. The business, the pressure. It feels like I'm drowning. Everything's falling apart. I'm lost." Raza remained silent for a moment. The words didn't seem to come easily, but his heart knew what he had to say. "Sometimes," Raza said softly, "we all feel lost. But kindness, even small acts of it, can lead us out of darkness. You know, I've had a tough life too, but every time I help someone, I feel a little lighter." The man's voice broke slightly as he responded, "I wish I could believe that. I've worked my entire life for success, but I've lost everything. My family, my friends, my peace of mind. What's the point anymore?" Raza glanced at him in the rearview mirror. "Sometimes, sir, the point is in the little things, the people we help, the smiles we share, and the kindness we offer." As they drove through the rain, the man began to open up about his life. He was a wealthy businessman named Mr. Ahmed, who had built a fortune through years of hard work and sacrifices. But in the process, he had become so consumed by his ambition that he had neglected his family and friends. His wife had left him, and his children didn't speak to him anymore. Even his employees saw him as a ruthless leader. Now, he was in the middle of a financial crisis, and everything he had worked for was on the verge of collapsing. Raza listened patiently. "You know, sir, you're not alone in this. We all have our battles, but you have the power to turn it around. Maybe not through money or power, but through kindness. Sometimes we have to start over, by being kind to ourselves and others." Mr. Ahmed was quiet for a long time, reflecting on Raza's words. "Maybe you're right," he finally said, his voice softer. "I've forgotten what it feels like to be kind, to myself and to others." As they approached Mr. Ahmed's office building, the rain had started to ease up, but the storm inside him seemed far from over. "I don't know what to do next," Mr. Ahmed admitted, looking at Raza. "My world is falling apart." Raza turned to him with a kind smile. "Sometimes, we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Maybe it's time to make things right, not by fixing everything at once, but by making amends, one step at a time." Mr. Ahmed thought for a moment, then did something unexpected. He reached into his wallet and handed Raza a large sum of money. "Thank you for listening, for being kind. You've helped me more than you can imagine." Raza hesitated but didn't refuse. He knew it was more than just a fare. It was a gesture of gratitude. "Take care of yourself, sir. And remember, kindness is free. Don't forget that." The next few days passed, and life for Raza seemed the same, still driving the same old taxi, still picking up passengers. But something felt different. One morning, he noticed a letter in his mailbox. It was from Mr. Ahmed. "Dear Raza," it began, "I want to thank you for showing me a different way to look at my life. After our conversation, I realized that the true value of success lies in relationships, kindness, and peace of mind. I've made some difficult decisions, including reaching out to my family and trying." Months later, Raza had opened a small cafe with the help of Mr. Ahmed's gift. It wasn't the wealth he had once dreamed of, but it was his own, and it was built on a foundation of kindness. He often received letters from people he had helped along the way, passengers, neighbors, and even strangers. They all shared stories of how his small acts of kindness had inspired them to make positive changes in their lives. Raza knew, as he served coffee to a new customer one morning, that the world may not always reward kindness in the way we expect, but it always makes the world a little better, one person at a time.